Tina was killed by a stray bullet as a young 16-year-old. Her life cut short. Who was raped in church in Benin. A 22-year-old 100-level student, University of Benin, was raped and killed brutally. I saw images. Hey, welcome to Entertainment Business with Silas. This is a show where I get to analyze some of the entertainment stories within the week, as well as trending topics, and I also get to share the two top songs on my playlist. Welcome. This is your first time of tuning in. Please subscribe. You can watch the past two episodes. This is the third episode. You can watch the past two episodes, so it sort of gives you an idea of what the show is about. But pretty much what I do here is analyze stories instead of just tweeting about it or just putting it on my private page. Say I put it out here on my vlog where you get to watch and also share your own view, if you know what I mean. I'm looking at all the stories on my list today, and it doesn't look good at all. They're all sad stories. It starts with Tina. I mentioned Tina in my last episode, but the 16-year-old girl that was shot at. I was saying I don't really have the details. I really didn't know at the time what actually happened. But over the week, we got to find out that she was shot by a policeman, stray bullets, and that the bullet hit her upper thigh. And by the time she was rushed to hospital, after the normal back and forth and everything, she still died. I saw a video of the parents and family actually on Instagram where they were recounting the incident and how it happened. It was a sad video to watch. This shouldn't have happened. It could have been avoided. You shouldn't even have gotten to the point where somebody, like, what exactly was it that the policeman was chasing a thief who was armed and decided to shoot and then missed and hit her? But from the story that I've read so far, it was somebody just released to her and I don't know, and he hit her. It doesn't sound nice at all. It doesn't look good at all. I heard the policemen have been arrested. I also heard about Ada, who was raped, a young girl who was raped in Enugu. There's Jennifer. The story just kept pouring in like that. All sad stories. I don't know. What is our country becoming? What is the world becoming? We are still living on the tail of George Floyd, who was actually buried on Thursday after his, I call it, well, I don't even know how to put it. How mildly can you even put it? He was brutally killed by 4 policemen. Yes, I said it. 4 policemen. So lives and properties are supposed to be protected by law enforcement people, agencies, personnel. But we will now have a situation where these ones that are supposed to be protecting the people are now the ones that are actually taking the lives and destroying the properties. This is sad. But let's not even go too far into it. Already we know the stories of SARS, harassment, killings. I saw a video from, I don't know what page, I think maybe Between Notes or Africa Modalities, where somebody was just, supposed SARS guy was wielding his gun anyhow over maybe somebody blocking him or somebody trying to come out, I don't know, on the road like this, broad daylight. And then, why are you bringing out your gun? Why do you want to, what exactly, or what point were you trying to prove there? Because if you have just 2 regular people who are on the road, people have arguments on the road. See that when you're on the road, and somebody that says walk out to you on the road, and you now say, okay, for flashing 5 fingers at me, I'm going to have to shoot you. This is not a crime scene or whatever. It's just a matter of traffic misunderstanding where somebody's trying to come out and then maybe mistakenly almost hits you or something, and then you now decide to come out to go and don't to be pointing at the person's head. And come on, man, people need to chill. I beg. Just because you're a uniform does not mean that you now become irresponsible or now become careless about the office or uniform that you are wearing. You're supposed to be respectful and actually be polite to the people that are taken care of. That is why George Floyd was killed in America, because those people just felt like they were gods. And then you can see the guy with his hand in his pocket, I'm a policeman, and I'll show you that I'm a policeman. You don't even need any of those things. I think people need to chill. You all need to chill. Calm down, please. Nobody's dragging office with you. Nobody's dragging uniform with you. We know you're police, but your job is actually to take care of us, the citizenry. For Omozua, the girl, 20-year-old who was raped in Benin, I really hope that the police will be able to get to the root of that matter and fish out people that actually committed or perpetrated that crime. Gosh, I saw the pictures online where They're not nice at all. Uh, they raped and murdered her. I don't know how many people were involved. We don't know. We don't have the facts yet. But I'm sure as the week, as time goes on, we'll be able to get more information on that story. My heart goes out to all the families that have lost, their children, and especially in this difficult time. People are still trying to manage with this whole COVID-19 session or season, and then we are still having extras. This is just because they were losing the lockdown, and then mad people, decided to just hit the road to start maiming, raping, and destroying lives and property. This is very bad, and I really hope that we get to the root of the matter. Nonsense. So the past Tuesday was Blackout Tuesday, where people got to post black screens or black images on their social media pages, and we sort of commemorates with activism for the black nation. The only blackout that did not happen was NEPA seizing power all through the country in Nigeria. It's also a day where you get to, if you're not on the road walking like they're doing in America at the moment, on the streets of Lagos, walking with a group of people protesting about something or and so on, you get to express yourself on your social media page. You get to put a black post just to show yourself in solidarity with what is going on around the world, especially as it concerns the black nation or black people. You and I, Africans, African Americans, all black people. A major subject matter was addressed in Nigeria's social media was rape, and it actually stemmed from the Uwa case and several other cases that were in the news. There was Jennifer Yazada and so on. It was about people coming out to condemn the heinous act of rape. Unfortunately, some celebrities who even came out to stand or post or say something against the act of rape were actually pulled back into that stable to say, you are also guilty. Some of the names that were mentioned are Brimo, Peruzzi, ABA the comedian, Uche Wachiko, The Band, and some other names that are not particularly mainstream popular. Of course, like you expect, some of these celebrities actually came out to deny it. The truth is, a lot of times these allegations can be very strong and sensitive. If you were not there, if you don't know the details, if you are not sure of what would have gone down, you really can't say much. It becomes a matter of your word against my word, as in for them, their word against your word. Because if you were not there, if you are not a witness to the situation, you may not really be able to talk much about it. But for someone like Brimo, he came out to deny it vehemently that, oh, this story is false. I did not, I will never, and there's also the case of Peruzzi. Peruzzi also denied, but in the case of Peruzzi, the problem with Peruzzi's own, whether he's denying or not, is the fact that he had old tweets that had him talking about, and in fact, glorifying the act of rape. And when you have those kind of situations or that kind of tweets on your timeline, I don't even know how you want to manage to wriggle yourself out of it, because it just sort of, it's not once, not twice, not 3 times. How do you even wriggle yourself out of that and deny it and say he probably had not really raped anybody, even though the accusation is there? But just because you made references or you tweeted that to say, or even in a funny way, that you're going to rape somebody, it just shows a great deal of irresponsibility. And these are things that he tweeted almost 10 years ago, and then look at how many years after they're now coming to haunt you. And then it's easy for you to say, oh no, I never rape anybody, I'll never. But your tweet, bro, your tweet. So there's also the comedian, the prince of comedy himself, a name called Hannah, who's supposed to be his ex-girlfriend, narrated her own ordeal or her own experience with ABA, that he physically and sexually abused her while they were dating and living together. So I don't know, but bottom line is that, how does your name even get to this kind of situations in the first place? How did you even get to that point where somebody's... And then I saw other messages or other tweets where people were trying to confirm the case of ABA, but hey, the point is, why are you even in that mix at all? The craziest one of it again is the band. One Benjamin S.A. said the band raped his friend, and this was in 2018, according to him. I was at one event that the band had at Co Atlantic that he forced himself on the girl. I don't know. Look, I don't have the details. I can't tell you that. Like I said, if you're not there, if you're not a witness to the situation, you cannot really say much about it. But what I'm just doing here is actually sharing the news, what has been said. But away from these names that have been called, I just want to say that one of the major problems that we have in society today started many years ago, and then I'll push it a little or more or less to how the male child or how parents raised the male children back in the days. I feel like a lot of the pressure was put on the females in terms of telling them, don't do this, don't dress like this, don't play with boys, you get pregnant, and other stories. That was what was happening back in the days. And of course, when the girls, maybe if they come to tell their parents that somebody touched them in a funny way or somebody raped them, parents did not believe them at the time. Parents sort of shocked them. Nobody wanted to be attached to this. There was that stigma that nobody wanted to be attached to. So when the children were raped or when girls were raped, people want to just hide the story or hide the gist so that it doesn't go out and it's not something that will make us talk about disgrace our family, but which was at the time and still is very bad. And today we see a society that has actually gone down the drain. It's a shame. It's a disgrace, and it's going to be worse if care is not taken. I feel like today the responsibility and that ball has been passed to us to do better, because the fact is the generation that we're talking about, so a lot of those things that were not addressed back in the days are now coming out to haunt a lot of us that in society today. Those of you, first of all, if you not attend those house parties where they will say, hey, all boys fall out, and they now start bouncing because there's scarcity of girls in the room or in the hall, they now bounce some boys out, now start asking for IV and all these things. If you're not part of that era, please, as you're listening or watching this thing right now, just stay, fold your arms and listen. At that time, you see that people, when a boy and a girl can be dancing like this, and then another will just look for you to squeeze himself into the middle and take over the girl, and then some of them will be looking at DJ to play R&B, and then before you know it, boys will start looking for ways to touch the girl's bum and touch the girl in funny ways. That time it was probably the trend, but it was crazy, it was mad. If you now look at it from now, this our era now, if you look back at that time, you just realize that those were the things that actually grew to become the monster that is now biting us today, because people thought that it was okay to be touching. I remember one of the cases where I was a kid, more or less. I saw a guy or a group of boys who chased a girl who she had gas sitting down on her head. She went to buy gas or something, and then they came to the group and touched her. Are you serious? And then there was also that time where if a girl is passing, then boys were looking at her bum, like So it felt like a normal society at that time. But looking back now, you just realize that wow, those are the things that have now degenerated and what's called gotten out of hand to attack us today in this society, which is why you see a lot of people, and then you hear cases of old men raping children, you hear cases of group of boys raping young, as in, how do you even rape somebody who is, God. It is so sad. I don't know, it's a very sad topic to want to be talking about. There are a lot of cases that have been swept under the carpet and nobody even heard them, because these things, I don't know, when there are sometimes you take it and then they'll be asking you questions like, what do you wear? You wear skirts? Why you wear short skirts? Why you wear tight? Why you don't wear bra? And those stupid questions that always follow these incidents. And it's so sad, because I don't know how we're going to get out of this thing now, because if you go abroad, you dare not, you can't see, if you sleep with any girl abroad and she still goes to report that you raped her, my brother, you are finished. The way they will handle the kids, the way they will deal with you, you just understand that it's more serious than you can ever think of. But here I feel like they handle the kids club, nobody, not mind them. They are boyfriend and girlfriend, leave them. They don't take it seriously. So please, I feel like if you keep quiet in situations like this, or for accusations, because these are very heavy accusations that people, when somebody comes out and say, oh, you raped my friend or you raped me. We had situations where I don't want to really go too far. I don't want to mention. Let me not go beyond where I am right now. But last, we need to do better. We need to behave better. Train your male child now. Train your male child now. Let them understand that they need to respect. And it starts with the home. By the time you give your son the responsibility to take care of his younger sister, protect your younger sister, make sure that nobody's talking to her disrespectfully, make sure that nobody's touching her in a funny way when you're outside, make sure that it doesn't even matter if it's the classmate or whatever, it is not funny. Make sure that you protect the girl child. This is our responsibility. It's the responsibility of society, it's the responsibility of we men, it's the responsibility of the parents, it's the responsibility of the teachers, it's the responsibility of everybody. We need to protect the girl child. We can't be using them as sex toys. They are not. Come on. And while we're talking about society, it still has to do with our leadership. We need to see how we can put laws that will sort of really punish rape or sex offenders. Because if we keep looking at it and we keep dealing with these things as casual, as ordinary, like people just come, just talk to, after a while, everything goes. But if we take it very seriously, at least, first of all, if they even mention the name of self in the case of rape at all, I think the first one is you didn't even sleep with this person at all. Then you should just even start from there, self, and then from there, we can now start building and then working our way towards whether you are guilty or not guilty. If you are found guilty, the law should provide a very strong punishment for the person that when you finish, at the end of the day, you will never in your life think about sex, not talk of say you want to come and force somebody to sleep with a person. Nonsense. So Majifashe will greatly be missed, the rainmaker himself. And to think that it rained on the day Majifashe died, may he still rest in peace. He was the true rainmaker. Respect. So Big Brother Reunion show went down as promised. It started on June 1st and ended June 4th. It was a 4-part show. So if I go by the trailer, how it was showcased or how it was sold, I would have thought, oh, it was going to be very dramatic. It was going to be very, pumped and heated. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it wasn't that serious. It was normal level. They played safe as far as I'm concerned, because I was thinking there will be like this competition between Thatcher and Messi, because based on how they showed us, because I saw when Messi fell on the ground laughing, and then there was you were disqualified and you left, and that's Kimopra and Thatcher moment. So from the trailer, I don't think they showed us Kimopra who said that thing. They made it seem like it was some other people and Thatcher, or some other person and Thatcher. But generally, I thought it was a very safe 4-part show, and then that shouldn't have run for 4 days. I don't know about you. I don't know how you can or how you saw the show. Did it meet expectation? For me, it was a good way to advertise or more or less introduce the next season of the show, and I'm looking forward to it. The portal has been closed for auditions, so we're waiting for what the next line of action will be. It'll be interesting. We'd like to know who the new housemates are going to be, especially in this COVID pandemic. I want to see how they're going to manage the show, the sets, everything. It'll be interesting. But besides that, we should learn to tolerate each other. I'm not really saying that people should come and be fighting themselves on live television. We should learn to tolerate each other, regardless of where, who, and what you have or where you're coming from. We should learn to tolerate each other and celebrate ourselves a lot more instead of putting ourselves down. So before I go, I'm going to play the 2 songs that I'm vibing to at the moment. 2 songs on my playlist. Calm down. I'll be right back.
Number 1 stunner. Anywhere you go, I go catch you for corner.
Superman, my kind of man. You know they say anybody but you, my international boy.
I don't want to be with no one else but you.
So that was Superman by Illbliss featuring Niniola. It is off the Il Chapo X album that was released just a couple of days ago. You should check it out. I love it. That, for me, that's one of my favorites. I also love Remember featuring Johnny Drill. Look, from A to Z of that album is a banger. Go check it out and say I told you so.
Meanwhile, I can't wait to make your face just smile. It's not a lie. set my soul on fire. So many girls that pass, none of the girls find pass. So many things you've been through, this life will not be the same again.
So that was one the cold again, back again. This one actually is not particularly new per se, but the video just came out not well, maybe last 2 weeks or so. I'm not very sure. The way I'm seeing it, the first song was for the men, Superman for the men, and then Randy Cole's part for the women. I'm talking or singing about the women, but every which way. They're both great songs, beautiful songs, and you can check them on all digital platforms. So we've come to the end of the show. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new, please subscribe, like, comment. Let me know what you think. Also share, very important. Then put on the notification button. It's very important so that you get to catch the episode immediately it drops on YouTube. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time, and I hope we do this again next week. God bless.